OK, let's discuss today's big news stories now. We're joined by Matthew Wright and Camilla Tominey. Good morning to you both. And Camilla, great to have you with us because, of course, across so many of the front pages today, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have announced they're expecting their second child. This lovely photograph, taken socially distanced, I believe, on an iPad, under a tree. What did you make?
Quite reminiscent, I thought, of that Notting Hill scene at the end where Hugh Grant is lying with Julia Roberts' character. So quite Hollywood. But yes, as you say, Ruth, this is the second child for Harry and Meghan that they're expecting. And it's good news because, of course, in November, she announced that she had suffered a miscarriage last summer. And it comes after she's won this court case effectively against the Mail on Sunday last week. So it's a double cause of celebration for them. We don't know yet whether the child is going to be the Queen's 10th or 11th great-grandchild, because Zara Tyndall is also expecting her third baby. And because the Sussexes haven't given us any timings, although in that photo I think we can agree that she probably is more than 3 months gone, we don't know which baby is going to arrive first. So like buses, royal babies are going to be coming to a penny in the summer. But yes, this is going to be a child, of course, born now to quasi-royals. Harry and Meghan are now in America and effectively private citizens. So we shouldn't be expecting much of a royal fanfare, no royal title. And indeed, because they are so fiercely protective of their privacy, despite this very glamorous shot which has been taken by a Vogue photographer, we don't even know whether we can expect really to hear this news until after the event.
What about the timing of the announcement, Camilla? Because Princess Diana announced on Valentine's Day that she was pregnant with Prince Harry.
Yes, I think they purposely tried to echo that 37 years ago, not least because Prince Harry's always very keen to continue his mother's legacy. But I think they just thought it would be welcome news on the day of love. But what's interesting, I think, for Prince Harry is he's caught in his own kind of tug of love, isn't he, between his immediate family and his priorities in America and also the family firm. And because this baby is expected in June, when there are a number of key royal events, not least the Duke of Edinburgh's 100th birthday, Trooping the Colour, and then a very special event on the July the 1st, the unveiling of the statue to Princess Diana on what would have been her 60th birthday in Kensington Palace. It's now up in the air as to whether Harry can attend any of these events. We know Meghan's obviously out of the picture, but with the pregnancy news and COVID, we just don't know when he'll be back in the UK.
OK, Matthew, your take on this?
I have to say, I love the fact the announcement came on Valentine's Day, the echo of Diana and Harry, which I can remember reporting on back in the day. I thought that was lovely. And I've also seen, as you would expect, feverish speculation in the press as to what the name this royal baby may have. And I'm actually really secretly delighted that Diana is there. And I'm thinking, oh, Valentine's Day announcement, maybe we will see her name resurrected if it's a girl child. I think it's really interesting as well to see how the media, the newspapers have reacted. The Mail, presumably still bruised from its High Court encounter last week, has been doffing its cap very deferentially and quite rightly so. And on the day where, lest we forget, this is the first anniversary of Caroline Flack's suicide, I thought it was really unfortunate that some newspapers, the Daily Star being the most prominent, have chosen to go on the attack again. Wouldn't it be nice once to celebrate good news in a happy way?
OK.
Yeah,
will you be celebrating the Eat Out to Help Out scheme? There are calls today that the government should rerun this scheme. Yet, guys, and Matthew, I'll go to you first with this, that there was worry, there was speculation that this, in fact, encouraged the spread of the virus last time around, whatever positivity it did for the hospitality industry.
I think the University of Warwick study, found that it increased transmission by almost, 17% in some areas. That was then. We've got a new reality now. 15 million vaccinations offered. We heard from the good doctor earlier, very positively, that I'm of the view that things are going to loosen up significantly in March and April. And I would like to think, albeit with all the caveats we know about vaccination, that you need to wait a few weeks before it sort of properly kicks in. Except all those caveats, I'd like to think that some degree of normality is now within our grasp. I really do. I think we went too early last year. We didn't have a vaccine in place. I don't think we had the virus under control. This time around, it's a totally different picture.
OK. Will you be eating out as soon as you can then, Camilla?
Oh, definitely. wait to get back to the pub and have a family meal. And equally, I think the hospitality industry, pardon the pun, needs the shot in the arm that the vaccine programme is given. And things need to go back to normal. They've also had to take one for the team because parents have wanted schools to open soonest, and I think that should be the priority. Then non-essential retail, and it's like pubs and restaurants and bars are being kept in abeyance, and I think they desperately need to get back to some normality because livelihoods and indeed the economy is at stake here.
Camilla, over the weekend, Justin Timberlake issued an apology to Britney Spears, right? This is all in connection with a documentary. It's called Framing Britney Spears. Sky Documentaries. It will be tomorrow night at 9 p.m. What do you know about this?
Well, I'm fascinated by this story because, of course, I remember acutely her very public breakdown. And I think Timberlake's apology should probably be followed by an apology by the rest of us and those covering it in the media, because there was a degree of revelry at the time in her complete and utter discombobulation. And I think if we reflect on it now with a much more sort of 2021 attitude to mental health, we would have treated it with a lot more sensitivity. I think there are complicated issues, aren't there, between Britney and her parents and the ownership of her branding and this sense that she's now not the child star, but a young woman who is intent on kind of controlling her own affairs, and rightly so. So I'll be quite tuned in. I don't normally do this kind of showbiz stuff, but I think in this case there is a really interesting backstory behind everything that went on during this really difficult period in Britney Spears' life.
Yeah, I mean, we all remember seeing those headlines, watching her unravel, really. Let's have a look at the trailer for this. As I said, Sky Documentaries and the Now TV Entertainment Path from tomorrow. Matthew, what do you make of this now and looking back at what you remember at the time, seeing Britney obviously struggling with her mental health?
I think she's totemic, really, of sort of any massive young celebrity. We in the media and as fans reduce human beings to sort of two-dimensional products that we buy into when it suits us and that we dump all over when we've got bored with them. We treat them like disposable plastic product rather than as people. And I've seen it happen to so many people. I mentioned Caroline Flack. We saw it happen with Princess Diana. We don't know the whole person. We only see a representation. And then within Britney Spears, you've also got her father still having complete control of her finances, of a woman now in her late 30s. And I mean, I just the notion that this should be allowed to go on, I find really quite nauseating. And one final thing, Justin Timberlake, this apology he's offered at the weekend is really, again, quite extraordinary. He's apologised for how he's treated Britney, but he also went on to apologise to Janet Jackson, the 2004 Super Bowl appearance. You remember where he sort of was supposed to rip at her costume and it was a famous, her breast was exposed. And I'd actually forgotten how Janet Jackson paid for that wardrobe malfunction with her career, her music blacklisted. She got no support from Justin Timberlake for years after that. And he sort of finally held his hand up and said, yeah, I was wrong to do that. I work in an industry that favours white males. And I think that's quite a brave thing to do. Maybe he should make reparations now and make good on some of the losses that she's suffered.
Gosh, guys, thank you.
Thank
Matthew,
you both.
Camilla, really appreciate that. Thank you very much indeed.